Strela KAZAN.
Well, a very good afternoon, and once again welcome to a Centurions on video production, coming to you from the Coliseum at Hilton Park, and featuring this afternoon's Power Gen Challenge Cup third round fixture between LEIGH Centurions and Russian side Strela KAZAN Arrows. We'll quickly go through the Russian outfit first. We'll attempt to name their side. They line up at fullback number 1, Oleg Sokolov. Right wing 19, Artem Artemenko. Right centre 5, Maxim Keller. Left centre number 3, Ramil Yusupov. Left wing 4, Nayaz Genulin. Standoff 6, Renat Chasutinov. Scrum half 7, Denis Makarov. 8, prop forward Marat Gabdulizanyov. Hooker 9, Alexander Napelkov. Prop forward number 10, Lena Zainutdinov. In the second row 11, Artem Batmanov, and 12, Azad Musim. And at loose forward the skipper 13, Mazim Romanov. On the bench for the Russians we have 17, Alexander Voronov, 16, Marat Kabyabulin, 18, Ramel Volyulin, and 15, Nikolay Bulankin. The Centurions will line up at 1, Scott Grix, 2, Misili Manu, 3, Tommy Grundy, 4, Danny Speakman, 5, Lee Greenwood, 6, Carl Thorber, 7, Heron Arimaya, 8, Dana Wilson, 9, Paul Rowley, 10, Richard Moore, 11, Chris Hill, 12, Terry Glassy, and 13, Robert Roberts. On the bench for the Centurions, it's at 14, Gary Sykes, 15, Liam Coleman, 16, Warren Stephen, and 17, Ricky Bybee. Our match official is from France, Thierry Alibert. And the Arrows from KAZAN are making their second appearance in this competition. They lost at this stage last season to the Keighley Cougars by 62 points to 14. Centurions about to get the game underway. Playing from right to left in their customary red and white. The Arrows playing in red and green. Aaron Aramaya gets the game underway. Fine kick, the Russians will look to bring it back. And a warm welcome for the Russians, covering the snow to make them feel welcome to their visit to the Coliseum. Great tackle by Moore, sitting by the other prop Wilson. So it's the Russians now with the skipper Romanov taking it forward. Napelkov behind to play the ball, spreads it left, good defence by Roberts. Napelkov once more. Ball's dropped though by Chamsudinov. So, quick possession for the Centurions, Dennis. First scrum of the game after just 1 minute's play.
Yes, Derek, and these Arctic conditions aren't helping really. The ball's bound to be greasy, the pitch certainly is. Been looking forward to some trepidation to this game all week. Have enough trouble pronouncing the names Grundy and Speakman, let alone these Russian names, but first penalty of the match has been awarded to the Centurions. Kick for touch by Carl Thorber. Gets Lee up to the opposition's 20-metre line. Restart by Rowley. Ball is now with Dana Wilson. Dana Wilson trying to go forward. Russian defence up to it. Rowley now. Quick ball out to Thorber. Did Thorber try and catch that? He certainly did, and he knocked on in the process. These conditions are certainly going to be testing for both sides. And we have the second scrum down of the match, this time in favour of Strela KAZAN. Ball out quickly from the scrum. Danny Speakman in there with the tackle. Coming forward now with purpose. That was certainly a good run from the number 3 Maxime Keller. Good pass there from Napelkov. Taken up by number 7 Makarov. Russians on the 40-metre line. Taken in, Leigh's defence. Up to the task again. This time it's a huge kick. Coming in. That's not going to go dead. Ball brought away from full-back by Griggs. Still manages to get the ball out of the tackle. Good run there from Griggs. The initial pass was from Lee Greenwood. Referee awarding the penalty for lying on in the tackle. Referee Mr. Albert from France. Absolutely spot on that occasion. Not much ground gain there. Taken up now by Richard Moore. Haramaya. Out to Dana Wilson. Dana Wilson gets inside the Russian 40. Forber there, quick pass. Out to Tommy Grundy. Grundy brought down, around about 25 metres out. Leigh going forward with purpose. Looking to hoist an early score. Little chip ahead. Tester for the full-back. Just manages to kick it dead. Can't see who the Leigh player was who didn't quite get a touch to it. I think it was Haramaya. Russian full-back certainly caught in two minds there, Derek.
Yes, a lucky escape for the Arrows on that occasion, but it'll be the skipper Romanov now with the drop out from under the post. Not the best of kicks. Haramaya will bring it back. No, he leaves it. Moore stoops low to pick it up well. Good defence by Yusupov. Ball's loose. Free. Waves play on. Terry Glassy now onto Roberts. Good defence again by Kabu Berlin. Leigh needing to calm things down, trying to play at 100 miles an hour. Can't do that in these conditions. Wilson now on the surge. Takes it into the visitors' quarter. Rolling behind the play of the ball now. Picked up by Moore. Moore's going to take some stopping, and Moore is in for the first try of the afternoon. Comes in just 5.5 minutes play. Richard Moore is the try scorer, and the Centurions lead by 4 points to 0.
Try from the Centurions, sponsored by JR Taxis, number 10, Richard Moore.
So the Centurions get the start they were looking for. It'll be difficult goal-kicking conditions this afternoon for Carl Forber. He kicked well at Widnes on Tuesday. The Centurions were in superb form to defeat the Vikings. 4 points to 0, the Centurions lead. Forber with a conversion attempt from this near touchline.
Is that not side play? No, I don't think. Don't look like rolling.
It's rolling. So the kick just drifts across the face of the post. So it'll be the Arrows, Strela KAZAN to restart from halfway. With the hooker, Alexander Napalkov. Kick-off is taken by Hill. 6-4 to drag him down. Referees let him play continue. The Leigh in possession in centre field. A look forward to Roberts, but the Centurions get away with it. Roberts stopped 5 metres short of halfway. Now it's Sykes behind the play ball, wearing the number 9. Not Rowley as we were given on the team sheet. Another good surge from Moore. Now Grix looking for the gap. All wrapped up though by Romanoff. Kick comes in from Harry Meyer. Turns full-back Sokolov round. The try is given eventually. A bit of a scrambled effort, but Tommy Grundy is credited with the try. That was a bit of a shambles, Dennis, but it's 4 points for the Centurions.
Doesn't matter how you get them, Derek. It's 4 points is 4 points. But yes, I agree. It was sloppy. It was a good probing kick from Haramaya. Caught the Russians out, chasing back. Tommy Grundy managing to somehow kick it, and the ball was spinning all over the place, but he managed to get a hand to it. Makes the scoreline now Leigh Centurions 8, Strela KAZAN 0. We've been playing just on 9 minutes, and it'll be Forber with the conversion attempt. On the team sheet we read out earlier, Rowley was down as playing at 9, but I'm pretty sure that's Gary Sykes. Conversion attempt, drifts past the posts. And it'll be Napolkov again with the restart for the Russian side. Very grey day here at the Coliseum. It was snowing overnight. Still quite cold, but fortunately it's not freezing. Brought up by Dana Wilson. Roberts now bringing the ball forward. Sykes waits, gets the ball, gives it to Moore. Short pass to Danny Speakman, brought down, but half a metre inside touch. Certainly felt that tackle. Is down holding his leg. Seems to have recovered. In the meantime, Grix, who's proving to be a slippy customer. Haramaya again with the kick. Well picked up there by the Russian. Certainly knew about that tackle. The Russian side coming gainly forward again. Good catch there from slightly behind him. Lays the ball off to Yusupov. Yusupov tackled still inside his own half. Kick forward. Goes over the head of Grix. He's going to have to field it. Gets inside the field of play and a great sidestep. Grix coming forward again. Lays a superb pass out to Greenwood, who has to cut back inside. But Leigh are in Russian territory. Grix again, carrying on where he left off. Passes the ball to nobody in particular. Touched a Russian player who was offside. Grix a little fortunate there. Looking to pass outside to Greenwood, but he wasn't there. And Haramaya with the fortunate penalty, kicks to touch. Sykes to restart. Gives the ball to Haramaya, who catches it up round his bootlaces. Short pass from Grix to Dana Wilson, who gets to 25 metres. Out to Forber. Forber Short pass to Roberts. Roberts straightens up, gives the ball out to Manu. This time Manu is wrapped up short. Quick ball out to nobody particular. Forber mops up. Takes the ball in himself. Leigh lost 10 metres of territory on that move. Ball with Jeremiah now to Griggs. Griggs going forward, slips with the ball. A grateful Russian, makes sure he doesn't get up. Jeremiah acting halfback. Gives the ball to Glassy. Glassy going for the line, can't get there. Leigh on the last tackle, what will they do here? Bit untidy, can't really see what happened from the play of the ball there. The referee has awarded the penalty. Quickly taken from a tap. Taken up by Dana Wilson. First time I've had the pleasure of seeing him in action. Sykes now. Out to Forber. Forber, short pass. Leigh surging forward, and that looks like an easy try. I think it's Richard Moore again. Moore diving for the line.
Sponsored by JR Taxis. Number 10, Richard Moore.
And that's Moore's second try, but he hurt himself whilst scoring under the posts. That makes the scoreline now Leigh Centurions 12, Strela KAZAN 0. We've been playing for just over 14 minutes. Moore perhaps trying to be a little clever, has hurt himself and is going off the field of play.
He's held, he's half held.
That brings Warren Stevens into the action. Fred was just telling me that Moore was half held in the tackle, which is why he had to dive. But may well take no further part in this game. Carl Forber with the conversion, hoisting the scoreline now to Leigh Centurions 14, Strela KAZAN 0. And Derek, Strela KAZAN are struggling to hold us.
Well, it's what one expected, I think, to be honest, Dennis. Russians are a bit out of their depth this afternoon as we await Maxim Romanov to restart. It's been one-way traffic so far. Kick down the middle, safely taken by Roberts, hands it on to Wilson.
Substitution for the Leigh Centurions, number 16, Warren Stevens, sponsored by Andy Entertainment, replacing number 10, Richard Moore.
So Leigh in possession, just outside their own 30. Sykes behind the play of the ball. Long ball now to Stevens. Good defence this time by Yusupov. Sykes now finds Roberts. Roberts offers the dummy, scoots through a big gap, hands it on to Forber. Forber still going on to Hill. Hill offers the dummy and Chris Hill is in this time. Fine support play by the Centurions in terrible conditions. But Chris Hill gets Leigh's fourth try of the afternoon. Just been played 16 minutes on the watch here at the Coliseum at Elton Park. The Centurions now lead by 18 points to 0. Maintain their 100% record start to the season. And a place in the fourth round draw tomorrow, which will feature, of course, all the Super League sides. The Centurions have come to do a job. Their coach Tony Bence will be pleased with their effort so far. The Russians looking completely out of their depth. That's an experience for them. As I said prior to kick-off, they lost 62 points to 14 at Keith at this stage last season. Forber once more with the conversion attempt. It's wide. So the scoreline remains at the Coliseum at Elton Park. 17.5 minutes gone in this Power Gen Challenge Cup third round tie. Now a scoreline of Centurions 18, Strela KAZAN Arrows 0. There's the Russians back on halfway with Napalkov in the restart. LEIGH not been under any threat whatsoever in this opening 17 minutes. Wilson again will take the first drive. Makes it to the quarter line before he's stopped. Roberts now onto Grix. Grix dodging and weaving. Takes the tackle in the end from Zenudikov. Warren Stevens now driven back by a great double tackle. Napalkov was involved with that. Harry Meyer now. Long ball to Greenwood. Greenwood looks for space outside, all wrapped up though by Artimenko. Glassy now. Hands it on to Coleman. Coleman looks for the gap. Almost found it. Sykes now. Kick comes in from Harry Meyer. Straight into the arms of Artimenko. Good kick and chase by the Centurions. Coleman leading with the tackling stakes. Now fullback Sokolov. Nowhere to go as Glassy makes the tackle. Oh, the Russians do well to hang on to that ball. Must be like a bar of soap in these conditions this afternoon. Here come the Russians once more. Chancing their arm up centre field. Good defence by Hill. Skipper Romanov trying to set an example, leading from the front, gets a good ball out in the tackle as well. There's no way through for Makarov. Kick comes in from Romanov. Well covered by Roberts, hands it on to Grix. Lee looking to catch them on the counter. Grix stopped in centre field. Solid defence this time by the Russians. Hill on the far side now. Suspicion of a forward pass again, but Lee get away with it. Hill stopped just short of halfway. 20 minutes on the watch. Stevens now. It's a good ball out to Robert. Robert shoots through the gap. Hands it on to Forber. Forber is on the way to the try line. Lee's fifth try of the afternoon. Carl Forber on this occasion. And I'm sorry to say this is all too easy.
Well, yes, Derek, it's beginning to come a bit of a procession at the moment. Lee scoring at better than a point a minute. And to be honest, as Derek said, the Russian side are out of their depth this afternoon. Forber should convert his own try from under the posts. Shouldn't be much of a problem there. And indeed he does. That hoists the scoreline now to Leigh Centurions 24, Strela KAZAN 0. And we've got just 21 minutes on the watch. That move made by a great break through a huge gap from Roberts, who passed on to Forber, who gave it to the supporting. In actual fact, he found his own way through, nobody could get to him. Very simple try. And it has been Napalkov with the restart. Haven't really varied these kicks, this one's a little shorter, but Chris Hill's underneath it. Regains his feet, takes the ball back to them. Stopped on 25. Sykes having a go himself. Makes a few metres. With Wilson now. Wilson driving forward. Stops on 35. Manu having a go. Taken up by Stevens. Stevens feeds the ball. I'm sure that's Grix. I can't see his number. gives the ball out to Forber, and Forber's in again. This is becoming a little bit like watching one-way traffic. But full marks to Leigh, they aren't letting up.
Try score for Leigh, number 6, sponsored by LFB Enterprises, Carl Forber.
And that makes the scoreline now Centurions 28, Strela KAZAN 0. You've got to say, already with only 23 minutes gone, the Leigh Centurions are in the bag for the draw, which I believe will be tomorrow afternoon. Sparse crowd this afternoon, I think. Quite a few, like Leigh fans, have decided to stay at home and keep warm. And again, the conversion is missed. That leaves the scoreline at Leigh Centurions 28, Strela KAZAN 0. Leigh 6 tries to the good, only 2 of which have been converted, both from under the posts. Certainly not a day for the kickers this afternoon. And for a change, it'll be the captain Romanoff to take the kick-off. Flatter one this time. That's going to go dead. And it'll be a drop out under the posts for the Leigh side. No Leigh player could get anywhere near that skittering ball once it bounced. Jeremiah with the kick-off. Gets it to about 40 metres. Becoming increasingly difficult to read the numbers on the shirts. But it's Romanoff taking the ball forward. Pass out from Napelkoff, taken forward by Strela KAZAN, and I think this is the deepest that they have been into Leigh territory all game so far. Short pass out dropped by the Russians. Feel he would have been better served to pick that up rather than try and kick it on, but referee has ruled a knock on anyway. And Strela KAZAN wasting what possession they have had. Scrum will be fed by Grix, who's been doing this quite a lot this season. Roberts picks it up, sprays a pass out. Taken up now, but not really getting any serious momentum going. Slightly forward to Roberts, offloads in the tackle. Good pass there. Kick forward from Forber. Fielded by fullback Sokolov. But the Leigh defence are waiting for him. Stopped on 30 metres. Good run forward there. Getting almost to 40. And that was Chisoudinov. Strela KAZAN just getting inside Leigh territory. The Russian player driven back. Manages to unship the ball, but I think unfairly the referee ruled that was a knock on. I felt the ball went backwards. Put his head and feet in the scrum to Leigh. Grix again will feed the scrum. Taken up by Wilson. Good strong drive from Wilson, but not getting very far. Sykes directing play, wants it to go left. Stephen to Harrimeyer to Glassy. Glassy juggles with it, but manages to hang on. Loses all his momentum in the process. Harrimeyer attacked in half-back, waits for it. With Stevens. Stevens trying to drive forward. Taken up by Gary Sykes from acting half-back. Leigh on the last tackle. What will they do here? Decide to run it. Forber gives out a pass. Squirted forward, but the Russians on this occasion managed to spot the danger, come up with the ball. Just on 28 minutes, the Russians camped in their own 10 metres. Can't break out from deep in their own territory. The Leigh defence seeing to that. That was a good pass out of the tackle, but spotted by Stevens, snuffs it out. Sloppy pass there, but Leigh come up with the ball. They're looking to add to the score. Taken up by Wilson. Wilson to Roberts. Roberts looks to pass, decides to go himself. And that's a simple try. An easy try. Roberts looked for support, there was none. Handed off the Russian defender and got himself over the line. That makes the scoreline now. Leigh Centurions 32, Strela KAZAN 0. And we've been playing just 29.5 minutes. It'll be Forber to attempt the conversion. Not a difficult one, but they're all difficult in these conditions. And Forber successful with that one. That now makes the scoreline. Leigh Centurions 34. Strela KAZAN 0. Strela KAZAN, I'm sure now, are playing purely for pride. They know they're not going to win this. It'll be captain Romanov to take the cake off. Strela KAZAN have been alternating between captain Romanov and number 9 Napolkov with the kick-off. Bit of a delay while they wait for the tee to come on. Well, Derek, do you think Leigh will keep up this points a minute onslaught?
Yes, I can't see any reason they won't, because I think Tony Benson will insist that they do a professional job on them. Great kick-off, well taken by Roberts, hands it on to Wilson. Wilson pushes out of the tackle, attempted tackle by Berlankin. Stevens now on to Harrimeyer. Harrimeyer's through the gap. Then he just run out of space and he's finally tackled by Artimenko. So Greenwood will be attacked in half-back on halfway. It's a bit of the action. Takes it forward, wrapped up by Yusupov. Sykes now on to Stevens. Stevens drives it straight forward. Takes 3 to stop him. So Leigh midway between halfway and the visitors' quarter line. Sykes long ball finds Glassy. Glassy goes through the gap. Romanov gets to him in the end, but a great ball out to Harrimeyer. And then it's knocked on by Warren Stevens and the Russians come up with possession. So 7 tries in the opening half hour by the Centurions. Game's a contest long since over with. And now the Russians. Oh, that was a bit high by Stevens. A very friendly welcome there for the Russian player. That's the first penalty the Russians have had in this game, and it comes in the 33rd minute. So it's been a good disciplined performance by the Centurions. Once more, it's not Nepalkov. Hands it on. Leigh player is laid out flat. Referee Thierry Alibert has finally stopped the clock. Leigh complained that he led with the elbow. Fisticuffs now coming in from Batmanoff. Leigh player is still prostrate on the ground. Not moved yet.
No, he's getting up now.
It's Warren Stevens that took the blow. Stevens that conceded the Leigh penalty with the high tattle. It's a bit of retribution from the Russians. And Stevens thankfully fit to continue. Russians will play the ball on halfway.
No look at who did it.
Nepalkov then hands it on to Ulankin. That was well forward. That was to Balyulin. And Leigh will get the head and feet at the scrum. So we've got a French referee trying to keep peace between an English club and a Russian team. Don't know what language they're all speaking out there, but it's Leigh to feed the scrum. Roberts now finds forward onto Tommy Grundy. Grundy looks for the space, wrapped up on halfway. Wilson now shrugs off one. Still tattled on halfway by three others. Inside to Stevens. Stevens shrugs away a couple. Makes it to the 40-metre mark, and then a penalty for a second snap. So Leigh tapped the ball. Forber finds Griggs. Griggs skips past the first attempted tattler of the game. Roberts now onto Wilson, takes it forward up to the quarter line. Leigh looking for try number 8. Well, the Russian defence just opened up like the parting of a waves, and it's try number 8 for the Centurions, right under the post. And really, Gary Sykes is the try scorer, but really,
Centurions were number 9 for today, Gary Sykes.
Really, the Russians have just nothing to offer against the Centurion side. It's been a long journey for them. It's going to be a longer journey home. So Gary Sykes is the try scorer with try number 8. Carl Farber to attempt the conversion. Makes no mistake. 36 minutes on the watch, 40 points on the scoreboard. Leigh looking to head up a big score this afternoon. Damage limitation for the Russians, I'm afraid. And there'll be skipper Maxim Romanov with the restart. Really, the Arrows have only had one attack inside the Leigh quarter. The defence stood its ground very well. Now it's Dana Wilson taking it up on the first one. Can Leigh get anything else in the closing minutes before the break? Roberts now drives it forward, runs into Romanov. Sykes now to Stevens. Stevens tries to straighten it up. Good tattle low down there by Kabubelin. Harry Meyer now inside to Glassy. Glassy goes forward, gets away from the first attempted tattle by Yusupov. Leigh 30 metres out. Coleman onto Stevens. Stevens will take it back on the last tattle now. The closing minutes of the first half. Harry Meyer puts the boot to the ball. Tries to turn round winger Gaynor in. Leigh forced the dropout from under the post. Second line dropout for Strela KAZAN. We're fast running out of time at the end of this first period. Just over 2 minutes remaining on my watch. Russians in no rush to get on with things. The Romanov once again with a dropout. Last drop kick he did, never left the ground. This time he does get it in the air. Stevens will bring it straight back. Have Leigh got time for another try? Roberts takes them on a game. Sykes now on to Harry Meyer. Kick comes in for Greenwood to chase, but it's too strong. Finds touch. We head and feed to the Russians. Ten metres from their own try line. They've got a flock of seagulls on the pitch. Don't know where they've come from. So the Russians with their second head and feed look to clear the lines. Minute of normal time remaining. Romanov once more. That was high again by Stevens. Penalty number 2 to the Russian side, and both for high tackles against Warren Stevens. Romanov taps it to himself, charges forward, takes the tackle in centre field. Leigh will want to keep a clean sheet this afternoon, prove something defensive-wise. Defence does its job once more. The Russians will certainly know they've been in a game when this one's over with. All the way through this time for Bulankin. The knock on at the play of the ball. Leigh will have head and feed. We're into added time. We're going to the timekeeper to decide when this first half will finish. Just going to roll down 10 metres inside Strela KAZAN. Well, kick, it's all on this last play now. Chased back by Gaynor. He takes the tackle, and that's the end of the first period of this Power Gen Challenge Cup third round tie here at the Coliseum at half-time scoreline of Centurions 40, Strela KAZAN Arrows 0. Please rejoin us after the break. Well, welcome back to the Coliseum at Hilton Park. On behalf of your cameraman Fred Parkinson and my co-commentator Dennis Beardworth, this is your match commentator Derek Disley, reminding you of the half-time scoreline in this Power Gen Challenge Cup third round tie. Leigh Centurions lead Strela KAZAN Arrows by 40 points to 0. So will the Centurions go for the jugular in the second half and try and reach 100 points, something they've never done before? A French official, Thierry Alibert, gets the game underway. Ball fails to bounce. Griggs picks it up, hands it on to Wilson. Sykes now hands it on to Roberts. Stephen drives it straight downfield. That's good defence though. Forber takes them on. Forced inside. Good play from Kabulin. finds Griggs. Not the best of passes. Harry Meyer did well to take that one. Glassy puts Moot to ball, try and turn around full-back Sokolov. Does it with his foot, almost makes a mistake. Takes it from the feet of Roberts though. And now it's Artimenko trying to clear his line. Stopped on his own quarter line by Stevens and Wilson. Kapolkov hands it on. Good defence by Hill and Stevens this time. Kapolkov once more. Bit of juddling there coming in from Valuelin. So the Russians persisting with this down the middle stuff. I thought these conditions might suit them, but it's too cold even for them, I think, this afternoon. And so we'll have our first turnover of the match. Go the Centurions' way. And Dennis, Lee really need to get this scoreboard ticking over quickly.
Yes, they do, Derek, but you sense it won't be all that long. Manu trying to get through. Ball dropped on that occasion by Glassy. That'll be the first scrum down of the half to Strela KAZAN. A lot of the Leigh team changed the shirts at half time. The Russians haven't. It's making it extremely more difficult to read who's got the ball. But they're coming forward again, as Derek says. They seem to be coming down the middle a lot, and that's a poor knock-on. And what little possession the Russian side are getting, they're wasting. They really do need to complete the sets of 6. I've only seen them complete 1 really, and that's a huge break from Forber, and Forber's going to make the line all on his own. No Russian player really trying to stop him once he'd broken the line. And I think that's Forber's hat-trick.
Try score for the Leigh Centurions, sponsored by LEIGH.
On 3.5 minutes into the second half. Forber flat-footed the defence, cut inside. And managed to narrow the angle. Derek said that the Leigh team needed to get the punch machine running early in the second half, and they've done that. Conversion there from Forber makes the scoreline now Leigh Centurions 46, Strela KAZAN 0.
Conversion is on try, sponsored by LMP Enterprises. Leigh number 6, Carl Forber.
And we're just short of 5 minutes on the watch. The kick-off to be taken by Romanov. Slightly shorter kick this time. This time it bounces nicely for Griggs. Griggs takes them on in midfield. Scampering run, but brought down by the defence, but preventing him getting up, giving away a needless penalty. That will bring Leigh to just short of halfway. Run up by Glassy, who gets the ball out of the tackle to Roberts. Roberts, good little workaround running here, picked up very well by Hill off the floor. Danny Speakman attacked in half-back. Lays the ball out to Stevens. Stevens takes it forward. Lays out a brilliant pass round the defender's back to Grix. Forber now. Gives the ball to Speakman. Grundy. Speakman and Grundy. Glassy now, looking for the line. Almost manages to get through. And his weight carries him over. Referee awards the try.
Try for the Leigh Centurions, sponsored by Leigh Fundraising Committee, number 13, Rob Roberts.
And it's Roberts with the final score. Not Glassy as I first thought. That hoists the half century for Leigh Centurions. Coming up to 7 minutes into the second half. Forward with the conversion attempt. Out wide to the left. Certainly kickable, but you never know in these conditions. It looked good from here, but it squirts wide of the post. That leaves the scoreline at Leigh Centurions 50, Strela KAZAN 0. The question now, as Derek said, will Leigh hoist probably the record score? And will Strela KAZAN get some consolation and get some points on the board? Only time will tell, but they're in no hurry to take the restart. And it'll be Romanoff again. Swirling kick taken by Roberts, will be run up by Dana Wilson. Two defenders bring him down on 30. Roberts now taking the ball forward. Russian defence stop him. Surging run gets Leigh to almost halfway. Roberts with the ball forward, gives it out to Chris Hill. Chris Hill unships it out of the back door, but the fullback Sokolov comes up with it. Good run there by Gabdulyanov. Strela KAZAN now just in the Leigh half. First time for a long time. Brought down on 40. Coming forward. Romanoff gives it out to Gaignulin. They're on the last tackle. What will they do here? Napalkov gives it to Romanoff. Romanoff kicks it to nobody in particular, to nowhere in particular. Went forward off a Russian hand. And that's a turnover. Terry Glassy to take it. Dana Wilson with the ball, comes forward, takes them on. Almost shrugs off two tacklers, got rid of one. The second one held on. Leigh coming forward again. Good pass there to Glassy. Glassy straightens up, shrugs off one, gets the ball out of the back door. Grix, I think that was, sold a huge dummy. Made 20 metres. Roberts with the ball, throws out a pass to Coleman. Coleman gives it out. lifted forward, that's too strong. But Manu certainly made a good attempt to get at it. And Derek, the Russians are finding it really difficult this afternoon.
Yes, they've had very little to offer in attack, and the defence has been carved wide open on so many occasions. You expect Leigh to score every time they have the possession. It's now KAZAN coming forward on their own 30-metre line. And Balkov behind the play of the ball. Tries to move it out, but they're just going nowhere. They can't break down this solid Leigh defence. Well, they're trying to swing the ball about, but Polanki goes back inside with it. Blaser makes the tackle. Romanov now. Long ball finds its way across to Keller. Home supporters trying to encourage them. Great defence though by Grundy. Last tackle coming up. Sokolov hands it back to Romanov. Great high kick. Nobody wanted it. Russians pick it up again. Have another goal. Well, they're still playing, but they're going backwards in possession. And they've conceded. Well, I thought it was a turnover, but the ball's come loose. So Lee Greenwood gets it out to Harry Meyer. Stevens now gets it out to Forber, onto Hill, back to Forber, inside to Manu. Manu takes 2 on. They get the better of him. Stop 5-6 metres out. Sykes now. It's up to Stevens. Short ball from Griggs. Takes 3 to stop Stevens. Leigh right under the H again. Finds its way to Hill. Kick comes in from Hill. Drop goal by again Ulin. Leigh come back with the football. Hill picks it up. Manu now. Well, they can't even find one another with the passes now. Forber, Wilson. Yeah, the conditions are getting the better of both sides at the moment. It's very, very heavy going out there. Harry Meyer, inside ball to Griggs. Better defence from the Arrows. Sykes gets over from action half-back, no problems. 14 minutes of the second half gone. Try number 11 for the Centurions. And it's an absolute rout here at the Coliseum at Hilton Park.
Try for the Leigh Centurions, number 9, Gary Sykes.
Sykes his second try of the match. Leigh's 11th in total, 54 points to 0 they now lead. More goal kicking practice for Carl Forber. Really, it's although it's a victory for the Centurions, it's a hollow victory really, because the opposition's been so poor this afternoon. Another kick goes wide. 11 tries and just 5 conversions from the Centurions now. Right, that was Harry Meyer who tried his luck. Change from Forber. Change of kicker. Didn't bring a change of luck. The Centurions in total command at 54 points to 0. 55 minutes of the game gone. So they're maintaining the point a minute almost. The conditions are really, really bad out there now. Thankfully with no rain or snow. Griggs takes that one, hands it on to Roberts. So here comes Wilson now taking it forward. Romanov makes the stop on this occasion. Sykes to Stevens. Stevens drops the football. The Arrows are back in possession. And they test this Leigh defence out. Driven in now by Gadula Sandkov. Hope he doesn't get the ball so often. Napelkov behind the play, the ball offers the dummy. Good defence by Grundy. Russians again persisting down the middle. Napelkov again goes from acting half-back. They're up to the Leigh quarter line. The Leigh line's never really been under threat so far this afternoon. But they're giving the ball some air on this occasion. The Leigh defence is up to it once more. Romanov now puts boot to ball. It's hacked on again. And the ball's hacked dead. And Leigh were forced into a goal line dropout. The jeers are because even the home supporters wanted the KAZAN to score.
Just to let you know, the half-time draw numbers confirmed is 2779.
So there'll be a Leigh dropout under the post.
2750, and the first one is 2843.
So not the best of dropouts. The Russians will be encouraged by that. You get possession 40 metres out. Try to drive it back, set up the position. Leigh will be determined, of course, to keep a clean sheet. The coach will insist on that. KAZAN are giving it a go at last. Driven in again now by Gaduluzanov. They're wrapped up by Wilson. Here come the Arrows now. Romanov offers the dummy. Leigh don't take it. Can Leigh keep them out? Good defence by Grundy again. Romanov lets the ball slip. Hacks it on. Picked up by Harry Meyer. Leigh back in possession. We're looking for space down centre field. Better defence this time from KAZAN. Manu now taking it up, trying to scatter them. It's good yardage, Curry appreciated that one. Penalty for interference, line on at the tackle. The home supporters now beginning to vent their feelings to Thierry Alibert, the French referee. Glassy now drives it in for the Centurions, stopped 30 metres out. Gets the ball away in the tackle well to Sykes. Sykes bounces off an high attempted tackle. Stevens now onto Forber.
Substitution for the Centurions, number 17.
Forber's dodged it, ran out of options then.
Number 13, Rob Roberts.
So Leigh just 10 metres out with Hill. Hill looking for his second try of the game. Well, it's Paul Rowley behind the play of the ball. Fires out a pass to Grix. Grix just saunters through a yawning gap in the KAZAN defence. And as we hit the three-quarter mark, it looks as though Leigh will hit the 60-point mark.
Try for the Leigh Centurions, sponsored by Michael Aaron Associates. Number 1, Scott Grix.
Scott Grix gets on the score sheet. And Dennis, to say that it's a bit of a procession is an understatement.
It is, Derek, but I was glad to see Grix scoring that try. He's been a thorn in the Russians' side all afternoon, and he'd done everything but score. And he's just put that right.
Substitution for the Leigh Centurions. Birthday boy, Paul Rowley, sponsored by AWC, replacing number 8, Dana Wilson.
Rowley is on now. Celebrating, I think, his 31st birthday today. Will be playing for the last 20 minutes, and the scoreline now.
Try converted by Leigh, number 7, sponsored by John and Dave Fuller, Aaron Aramaya.
Haramaya having made that conversion. The scoreline now is LEIGH Centurions 60, Strela KAZAN 0, and we've been playing for just over 60 minutes. The restart this time will be taken by Napalkov at number 9, who's had a very good game for the visitors. Run up by Grix. Rowley, attacking half-back, wants to get involved very quickly. Bybee with his first touch of the ball, charges forward, gets it out the back door to Rowley, Rowley to Hill, Hill takes on the defence, skips through a weak tackle, gets to the Strela 40. Bybee, short pass to Stevens, Stevens going for the line, showing a good turn of pace there. No Strela player was going to stop him once he got that ball.
Try for the LEIGH Centurions, number 16, sponsored by Andy Entertainment, Warren Stevens.
Stevens was certainly steaming onto that ball. Once he got it, there was no stopping him. Showing a fine turn of speed for a prop forward.
Just remind you, ladies and gents, boys and girls, after the game is finished,
Crashing unopposed over the line.
In the big master battle, along with the Strela KAZAN team, they'll be in there as well about an hour after the game is finished.
And that is Leigh's second try in less than 2 minutes. Bybee well involved in that move, gave the pass out to Stevens. And it's Haramaya with the conversion attempt. The Strela side looking very tired now. I'm sure they'd love the referee, Mr. Albert, to blow his whistle. But we've got another 16.5 minutes left. And that kick bounces off the post, leaving the scoreline at LEIGH Centurions 64, Strela KAZAN 0. LEIGH have scored 13 tries this afternoon, only 6 of which have been converted. And Napalkov now with the restart. Grix giving the ball to Manu, taking a run. Has come off the wing. Leigh coming forward again. Good pass out of the tackle to Glassy. Glassy chips it on. Picked up beautifully. By Leigh, and that's yet another try under the H for Leigh. Leigh Greenwood had a lot to do to pick that ball up, but picked it up cleanly. Had an easy run for the line. Cut inside, went for the posts. And that's Leigh's third try in as many minutes. We've had 65 minutes. This conversion from under the post should make it 70. And a bit of good-natured jeering from the Leigh crowd as that ball goes between the posts. That makes the scoreline now LEIGH Centurions 70, Strela KAZAN 0.
That now makes the score Strela KAZAN 0, LEIGH Centurions 70.
Strela KAZAN in no hurry to make the restart. In fact, the referee had stopped the clock, so Strela gained nothing by that. Griggs gives the ball to Manu. To be sure, Manu would love to go the length of the pitch. Referee wants a word with the tackler. Penalty awarded. Kick for touch from Forber, to be restarted by Rowley. To Forber. Forber gives it to Bybee. Bybee tries to scatter the defence but doesn't on this occasion. Griggs had acting halfback, gave the ball to Stevens. Stevens stopped short of the Strela 30. Rowley runs at the defence. Good handoff there. Still going forward. Gets to the 20 before they manage to bring him to ground. Rowley pushing the Strela player off. Gives the ball to Bybee. Bybee surges forward. Gets inside the 10. Dragged back to the 10. Back another couple of metres. Good tackling there from the Russian defence. Rowley waiting for it. Forber now tries to take them on. Russian defence spot it and this time snuffing out. Rowley on the blind side to Hill. Hill loses the ball. Not sure that ball did go forward, but the referee has awarded. I think it must have been the last tackle. Has awarded the turnover. Strela trying to get away from their own 10-metre line. That's a good hit from Stevens. Strela player certainly knew he'd been hit then. Coming forward, get to 20 metres. Running out of tackles. Run up now, but the Leigh defence in no mood to leak any points, and already Strela are on the last tackle. And I think that's Napelkoff on the floor, holding his knee. Referee has stopped the clock. The Strela player certainly hasn't moved yet. Has to be carried from the field of play. The Leigh fans applauding him off. He will take no further part in this game. Bit of an unfortunate injury there, Derek.
Yes, we don't like to see that to anyone, particularly this poor Russian side who are taking such a hammering in the points department. Now they look to get the ball clear. Fine kick. Griggs is underneath it though. Kicks it forward for Greenwood. Greenwood tearing down that far side. It's a brilliant kick. It's going to stop in the in-goal area. It's kicked dead and it'll be a goal line dropout. It's the first Leigh forced in this second half.
Man of the match for this afternoon, Leigh number 8, Dana Wilson.
Dana Wilson's been named the Leigh man of the match. I think it's been once again an outstanding team performance by the Centurions. We wait for the dropout from under the posts. Mr. Ali Burr, the French official, making sure they're all on side. Romanov only gets it to the 20-metre mark. Narimeyer takes them on, and he's top 10 metres out. So Leigh looking for try number 15. Stevens drives it in again. Gets it out. It's now with Bybee, onto Forber. Inside ball to Chris Hill, and a wonderful Leigh move That was certainly a well-worked move by the Centurions. Comes on 71 minutes. It's Chris Hill's second try of the afternoon.
Try for the Leigh Centurions, number 11, Chris Hill.
The Centurions 15th in total. They now lead the Strela KAZAN Arrows by 74 points to 0. And now it's Forber who's taking up the goal kicking again, because I think Harry Myers taking a knock and maybe being substituted. Forber. He's got 5 goals to his credit so far. That was missed on that occasion. And Leigh are not happy with the goal kicking this afternoon. Carl Forber with a bit of stick.
Number 13, sponsored by the fundraising committee. Rob Roberts replacing number 7, Aaron Aramaya.
So 8 minutes remain at the Coliseum. Leigh are safely home. It's just a question of how many. They lead by 74 points to 0 at the moment. And with those 8 goal kicks that have been made, they would have been up to the 90-point mark. A bit of a let off for the Strela KAZAN side. Romanoff with the restart. Grix takes it. Oh no, he leaves it for Bybee. Bybee runs at the defence, takes the tackle. Rolling out onto Hill. Hill takes the tackle, 10 metres short of halfway. Rolling out. Picked up by Forber. Bybee had nowhere to go. He stooped to pick that one up. Stevens again. Good defence this time by the Russians. Roll. That's better defence.
Today's attendance, ladies and gentlemen, 1,219. We'd like to thank you all for braving the cold weather.
Roll it. Short kick comes in from Forber. It won't bounce, that's for sure. It's well dropped on though by Gainulin. And he's gone down with cramp. Here comes fullback Sokolov. Rowley and Bybee make the tackle. Rowley and Bybee make another tackle. Romanoff now, hands on. Good surge this time by Voronov. Gets over halfway. Home supporters really love the Russians to score, but that's a poor pass. And its way to Yusupov. He stopped just short of halfway. The referee indicates the last tackle. Romanoff puts the kick in. Anywhere will do. Grix traps it with his foot. Hands it on now to Forber. Inside ball to Manu, drops it. Russians have come up with the possession, but it'll only be after a scrum. It's only the third scrum of this second half. Makarov to feed the scrum. 10 metres inside the Leigh half. So, can the Russians come up with anything? Well, so knock on in the end. I don't know which way he's giving it first. He's giving it to the Russians. So Makarov will feed again. Still 10 metres inside the Leigh half. Driven forward by fullback Sokolov. Hill makes the tackle. Belkov hands it on. There's certainly no idea how to penetrate this compact Leigh defence. Belkov tries his luck on his own. Again, the Leigh defence is up to the test. Once more, it's won out rugby by the Russians. Playing into Leigh's hands. Thought they were going to give the ball some air then, but Romanoff went back inside. Now a kick comes in again from Romanoff. Picked up, now it's Vasily Manu once more. Stopped just under his own post. So Coleman now making the break. Takes it to the quarter line. Roller looks for Greenwood. Greenwood looks for space.
Substitution for the Leigh Centurions. Number 8, today's man of the match, Garner Wilson, replacing number 16, Warren Stevens.
So there goes Rowley, inside ball. Russians are up to that one. Rowley again. Better defence now from the Russians. Keeping Lee at bay on the last one. Rowley goes down the short side, changed his mind. Barbie puts the kick in. Oh, straight down the throat of Artimenko, who's encouraged by the all 1,200 of the Leigh supporters that are here. So the Russians with Valyulin. Grundy makes the tackle though. Barbie was up quickly to make that stop. Driven in now by Gabdullah Zamnov. I don't know where this break's coming from, but I can't see one coming really from the Russians, to be honest. Romanoff with the kick again, and Dennis, there's no penetration whatsoever in this Russian side.
Absolutely not, Derek, and it does make you wonder how teams like Strela, for all their efforts, are allowed to enter the Challenge Cup, but we don't make the rules. And Captain Romanoff has been awarded the Strela KAZAN man of the match. I think I agree with that. I think it was between him and the number 9 Napalkov who got it. My personal Leigh man of the match was Forber. The penalty awarded against Strela KAZAN for ripping the ball out of Paul Rowley's hands, right in front of both the camera and the referee. Short passing out to Roberts. And that's a great break. That's another try under the post for Leigh. All too easy, really. Good passing along the line. Roberts with the cut-out pass. Good angled run from Scott Grix. Took the ball on the angle, coming inside. Strela didn't look interested. And that hoists the scoreline now to Leigh Centurions 78, Strela KAZAN 0. And as Derek said, with the conversions, that would have put us in serious danger of approaching the 100. As it is, the scoreline is 78 points to 0. Leigh have waltzed in 16 tries this afternoon, and I think that one was converted, which has made the scoreline Leigh Centurions 80, Strela KAZAN 0. And we're approaching the last 10 seconds of normal time. Forber with the conversion on that occasion. 8 conversions. Kicked, 8 missed. And we're now in time added on by the timekeepers. It'll be Romanoff with the restart. I'm sure he's in no hurry. I'm sure he'd be very happy for the final hooter to go now, but he's adjusting his bootlace. The referee has stopped the clock. Mr. Albert wants him to get on with it. Clock is restarted. Romanoff with the kick-off. Brought up by man of the match, Garner Wilson. Certainly had a good, solid, strong game in both attack and defence. And that's the final hooter. It just remains for the tackle to be made, and that'll be the end of play. Referee drills his whistle to bring the game to an end.
KAZAN team and the LEIGH CENTURIONS. Thank you.
A very brave but outclassed Strela KAZAN. Certainly happy to hear the final whistle. Leigh, for the trouble, totally outclassed them. And Leigh go into the draw for the 4th round of the Challenge Cup tomorrow. But from cameraman Fred Parkinson, co-commentator Derek Disley and I, this is Dennis Beardsworth saying goodbye from Central Park with the final of the... Sorry, from... Why did I say Central Park? I meant from the Coliseum. With the final reminder of the scoreline. It finished. LEIGH CENTURIONS, 80 points. Strela KAZAN, 0.